My in-laws demanded I cook Thanksgiving dinner for 30 people while 8 months pregnant. I said yes, then accidentally ordered it all from a vegan restaurant. They're still not speaking to me. My husband told me he was working late on Tuesday nights for 3 months, and it turns out he was screwing my sister-in-law at her apartment while I was home with swollen ankles meal prepping for his entitled family. I'm 8 months pregnant. I can barely tie my shoes. My back screams every time I stand up for more than 10 minutes. But my mother-in-law called me 2 weeks ago and informed me, not asked, that I'd be hosting and cooking Thanksgiving dinner for 30 people this year. It's tradition for the youngest daughter-in-law to host, she said on speakerphone while I was literally sitting in my OB's waiting room. And since you're not working right now, you have plenty of time. I'm on bed rest. That's why I'm not working. I tried explaining this. She cut me off. Bed rest means rest from your job, not from family duties. Besides, cooking is relaxing. My husband backed her up. Said it would be good for me to feel useful. That his family was looking forward to my famous turkey. I've never cooked a turkey in my life. But sure, I said yes. Smiled through gritted teeth. Told them I'd handle everything. Then last week, I found the texts. My husband left his phone on the bathroom counter while he showered. A message popped up from his brother's wife. The same sister-in-law who always acted so sweet to my face at family dinners. Can't wait for Tuesday. Your place or mine? I scrolled. 6 months of messages. Detailed messages. They'd been sleeping together since my second trimester, apparently bonding over how demanding I'd gotten since the pregnancy. She complained about her husband being boring. Mine complained about me being too tired for sex and constantly asking him to help around the house. There were messages about me specifically. About how pathetic I looked waddling around. How she'd never let herself go like that during pregnancy. How I was probably faking the bed rest to get out of responsibilities. I took screenshots. Sent them to myself. Deleted the evidence I'd seen them. That night at dinner, my husband reminded me about Thanksgiving. 30 people. Full spread. Turkey, sides, desserts, the works. His mom had already told everyone I was doing everything homemade. You got this, right? He asked, barely looking up from his phone. Probably texting her. Absolutely, I said. I've got it all planned out. I did have it planned. Just not the way he thought. I spent the next week pretending everything was normal. Went to my prenatal appointments. Rested like I was supposed to. Let him think I was busy shopping and prepping for the big day. Tuesday night, he said he had to work late again. Kissed my forehead. Told me not to wait up. I waited until he left, then placed an order with a fully vegan restaurant across town. The fancy expensive kind that does catering. Ordered everything. Tofurkey. Cashew mashed potatoes. Mushroom gravy. Cauliflower stuffing. Dairy-free pumpkin pie. The whole 9 yards. Cost me $800 on his credit card. Thanksgiving Day came. His whole family showed up at noon like planned. Parents, siblings, cousins, grandparents, the works. 30 people crammed into our house expecting a feast. My sister-in-law walked in with her husband, saw me in my maternity dress, and had the nerve to hug me and ask if I needed help with anything. Nope, I said sweetly. Everything's ready. At 1 o'clock, the food arrived. Professional delivery. Big aluminum trays with warming stands. The delivery guy helped me set it all up on the dining room table. My father-in-law lifted the first lid. Stared. What is this? Thanksgiving dinner, I said. My mother-in-law picked up a piece of tofurkey with a serving fork. Examined it like it was roadkill. Is this tofu? Yep. Everything's vegan. Organic too. The room went silent. You could have heard a pin drop. My husband's face turned red. Where's the real food? This is the real food. You told me to handle Thanksgiving dinner. I handled it. His brother started laughing. Are you serious right now? My sister-in-law wasn't laughing. She was staring at me, and I could see her doing the math. Wondering if I knew. My mother-in-law's voice was ice. This is completely unacceptable. How dare you disrespect this family? How dare I? I turned to look at my husband. Then at his brother's wife. That's funny coming from this family. My husband's eyes widened. He knew. Right then, he knew that I knew. I pulled out my phone. Opened the screenshots. While we're all together, maybe we should talk about family respect. Like respecting your pregnant wife enough not to sleep with your sister-in-law for 6 months. I airdropped the messages to everyone's phones. All at once. Every family member with an iPhone in that room got the screenshots in real time. Chaos. Immediate chaos. My sister-in-law started crying. Her husband started yelling. My mother-in-law tried to grab my phone. My father-in-law just sat down heavily in a chair and put his head in his hands. My husband tried to corner me in the kitchen. You're crazy. This is insane. We can talk about this privately. No, I said. We're done talking. I want you out of this house by tonight. I already called a lawyer Monday. You can't kick me out of my own house. Community property state, and I've got proof of adultery. Try me. He left. Grabbed his brother and his brother's wife and dragged them both out. Half the family followed them. The other half just stood there in shock, staring at the vegan food. My father-in-law was the only one who stayed behind after everyone else cleared out. He helped me pack up the untouched food. Didn't say much. Just helped. Before he left, he turned to me. I'm sorry. For all of it. Then he was gone too. That was 3 weeks ago. Nobody in his family has spoken to me since except through lawyers. My ex and his sister-in-law are apparently staying at his brother's house together now, which basically confirms everything. His brother filed for divorce. My ex's entire family has closed ranks around him anyway, acting like I'm the villain for embarrassing them on Thanksgiving. My lawyer says I have an airtight case. The screenshots, the credit card statements showing hotel rooms, everything. But his mother has been calling me from different numbers, leaving voicemails about how I've destroyed the family and ruined everyone's holiday over petty jealousy. Petty jealousy. I'm due in 3 weeks. I'll be a single mom. My baby will grow up knowing their father chose their aunt over us. And apparently I'm the bad guy because I served vegan food. So was I wrong for how I handled it? My water broke at 2 a.m. last Tuesday. I was alone. Obviously. The person who should have been there was presumably still sleeping at his brother's place with his mistress. I called an ambulance. Grabbed my hospital bag. Tried not to panic as contractions started hitting every 7 minutes. The EMTs kept asking if anyone was coming to meet me at the hospital and I just kept saying no, handle it, I'm fine. I wasn't fine. Labor lasted 19 hours. 19 hours of texting my mom updates because she lives 4 states away and couldn't get a flight in time. 19 hours of nurses asking about the baby's father and me having to explain that he wouldn't be attending because he was busy fucking my sister-in-law. One nurse looked like she wanted to murder someone on my behalf. I had my son at 9:43 Wednesday night. 7 pounds, healthy lungs, perfect. They put him on my chest and I just sobbed. Happy and devastated at the same time. Because he was here and beautiful and I was doing this completely alone. My mom arrived Thursday morning. Held her grandson. Cried with me. Told me she was staying for 2 months and we'd figure everything out. My ex didn't even know I'd given birth until Friday. His mother somehow found out and called him. He showed up at the hospital with flowers and this whole speech prepared. I was in my room nursing when he walked in without knocking. My mom tried to block him but he pushed past her. I want to see my son. Get out, I said. That's my child. You can't keep me from him. Watch me. You have no rights here. We're not married anymore in my head, and you gave up being a father when you chose her. He tried coming closer. My mom literally stood between him and the baby. Leave now or I'm calling security. This is insane. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. You're punishing me by keeping my son away. A mistake. 6 months of deliberately lying and sneaking around was a mistake. You want to be a father? I kept my voice level even though I was shaking. Call your lawyer. File for custody. Do it legally. But you're not holding him today. He lost it. Started yelling about how I was poisoning his whole family against him, how I humiliated him on purpose, how I trapped him with this pregnancy. That's when hospital security arrived. My mom had pressed the call button. They escorted him out while he was still screaming about his rights. The nurse came in after. Asked if I wanted to file a report. I said not yet but took the incident number just in case. We came home Saturday. My mom set up the nursery while I tried to figure out how to keep a tiny human alive on 3 hours of sleep. Every time my son cried, I wondered if his father even cared that he existed. Sunday night, his family started their campaign. Group text to my phone. Voicemails. Facebook messages from relatives I'd never even met. All saying the same things. I was bitter. Vindictive. Using the baby as a weapon. His mother left a message saying I was denying my son his birthright by keeping him from his father and family. Monday morning, his brother's wife tried calling me. I blocked her immediately. She switched to messaging on Instagram. We need to talk. You don't understand the whole situation. He was going to leave you anyway. I'm pregnant too and we want to raise our kids together as siblings. I read that message 10 times. She's pregnant. They want to raise their kids together. I screenshotted it and sent it to my lawyer with a note that said, add this to the file. Then I blocked her everywhere. Tuesday, my ex's mother showed up at my house. Just appeared on my doorstep at 7 a.m. with a car seat and a casserole. My mom answered the door. Told her to leave. She refused. Said she had grandparent rights and demanded to see the baby. You have no legal rights, my mom said. Leave or I'm calling the police. You've turned her against us. This whole family. My son is destroyed. His brother's marriage is destroyed. All because she couldn't handle that marriages have rough patches. My mom shut the door in her face. She stood on the porch for 20 minutes. Ringing the doorbell. Knocking. Finally left when my mom called the non-emergency line and they said they'd send an officer. The casserole is still sitting on my porch. I'm not touching it. Yesterday my lawyer called with updates. My ex filed for partial custody already. Wants every other weekend plus holiday starting when the baby is 6 months old. His lawyer sent over a proposal that includes me paying him child support because he'll need to upgrade to a bigger place to accommodate overnight visits. I'm on maternity leave with no income. He makes 6 figures. But sure, I should pay him. My lawyer said not to worry. Said the affair evidence plus his hospital outburst plus his family's harassment gives us plenty to work with. But she also warned me this could get ugly. That his family has money and they'll drag this out. I'm sitting here at 3 in the morning while my son sleeps in his bassinet next to my bed. He's 1 week old. 1 week and he's already at the center of a war he didn't ask to be part of. My ex hasn't tried to see him again since the hospital. Hasn't sent anything. No texts asking how he's doing. Nothing. But his lawyer is demanding custody and his family is calling me a monster. His mistress is pregnant with his 2nd child and apparently they're planning some kind of blended family situation. Meanwhile I'm alone changing diapers at 4 a.m. wondering how the hell I'm supposed to do this for 18 years. My mom keeps telling me it'll get better. That the legal stuff will settle and his family will eventually back off. But I don't think she really believes it either. Do other single parents deal with this level of crazy or did I just win some kind of terrible lottery? His brother's wife lost the baby 2 weeks ago and somehow that's my fault too. She miscarried at 11 weeks. I found out because his mother left me a voicemail at 6 in the morning screaming that the stress I caused destroyed an innocent life. That I murdered her grandchild with my vindictive behavior. That God was punishing our whole family because of what I did. I deleted it after listening once but my hands were shaking so hard I dropped my phone. My son was crying for his morning feeding. I picked him up, sat in the nursery rocker, and just felt numb. A baby died and they're blaming me for it. A baby that existed because 2 people decided to blow up multiple lives, but sure, I'm the villain. My mom heard the voicemail before I deleted it. She wanted to take legal action. I told her to just add it to the file my lawyer is building. At this point the file is probably thicker than a phone book. The custody mediation happened last Thursday. First time seeing my ex in person since the hospital incident. He showed up in a suit looking exhausted. His brother came too, for moral support apparently. They sat on one side of the table. Me, my mom, and my lawyer sat on the other. The mediator tried starting with pleasantries. My ex cut her off. I just want to see my son. That's all I'm asking. My lawyer slid a folder across the table. Your client has made no effort to see the child since his birth. No calls. No texts. No baby supplies. Nothing. He showed up once at the hospital and became verbally aggressive, resulting in security intervention. I was emotional. My son had just been born and I wasn't allowed in the room. You weren't allowed because you screamed at a woman who'd just given birth, my lawyer said. And according to hospital records, you blamed her for trapping you with the pregnancy. His lawyer jumped in. Tried some speech about how new fathers sometimes struggle with overwhelming emotions. How the affair was a separate issue from his parenting capabilities. How denying him access was harmful to the child. My lawyer pulled out the screenshots. Not just the affair texts. New ones. Messages from last month between my ex and his mistress talking about how once they had custody arrangements, I'd be the weekend parent and they'd be the real family. Your client isn't interested in co-parenting. He's interested in replacing his son's mother. My ex's face went red. That's taken out of context. Which part? The part where you called her a temporary obstacle? Or the part where your girlfriend said she'd be a better mother than the actual mother? His brother stood up. This is bullshit. You're destroying him over a mistake. Sit down, the mediator said. Or leave. He sat. The mediation lasted 2 hours. They proposed supervised visitation once a week at a neutral location starting next month. 1-hour sessions. My ex would pay for the supervisor. No overnight visits until the baby is at least a year old. My ex's lawyer tried pushing back. Wanted unsupervised visits immediately. Wanted overnight weekends by 6 months. The mediator shut it down. Said given the circumstances and the baby's age, supervised visits were more than reasonable. My ex looked at me across that table. You're really going to do this? Keep my son from me? You kept yourself from him, I said. I'm just making sure he's safe. We left before they did. My mom drove because I was too shaky. We stopped at a red light 3 blocks away and I finally let myself cry. Just completely broke down in the passenger seat while my baby slept in his car seat behind me. He's never going to forgive me, I said. He's going to make my life hell forever. Good, my mom said. Let him stay angry. Angry means he can't pretend he's the victim. That was 4 days ago. Since then, the harassment has gotten creative. His family found my Facebook even though I thought I had everything locked down. They're commenting on old posts from years ago. Telling mutual friends I'm mentally unstable. Posting in local parent groups warning people about the crazy woman keeping a father from his child. Someone, probably his mother, sent screenshots of my original post to his entire extended family. I know because I got a message from a cousin I'd met maybe twice at family events. Long message about how I should be ashamed for airing private family business online. How I was a disgrace. How no wonder he cheated if this is how I handle conflict. I deactivated Facebook entirely. Deleted Instagram. The only social media I have left is this account and I'm seriously considering nuking it too. Yesterday the supervised visitation company called to schedule his first visit. Next Wednesday at 10. 1 hour. He has to arrive on time and follow all protocols or the visit gets terminated. I'm supposed to drop my son off and leave. Come back an hour later to pick him up. Let a stranger hand my 6-week-old baby to the man who abandoned us. Trust that he'll be safe for 60 minutes while I sit in a parking lot having a panic attack. My lawyer says this is good. That supervised visits show I'm being reasonable and cooperative. That it makes me look better for the custody hearing in 2 months. That judges favor parents who facilitate relationships even when it's hard. But I don't feel reasonable. I feel sick. My son is sleeping in my arms right now. He's so small. He doesn't know his dad. Doesn't know any of this mess. In a few days I have to hand him over to someone who sees him as a chess piece in a game I never wanted to play. My ex's brother's wife sent me a message last night through a mutual friend. Long apology about how sorry she was. How she never meant for any of this. How losing the baby made her realize what really matters. How she hopes one day I can forgive her. I blocked the mutual friend. There's no forgiveness coming. Not for her. Not for him. Not for any of them. They made choices and now they're dealing with consequences, and somehow I'm still the bad guy in their story. My mom keeps telling me to focus on my son. That he's the only thing that matters. But it's hard to focus when you're constantly waiting for the next attack. Is it always like this or does it eventually calm down? The custody hearing happened 3 months ago and I'm still processing how badly it went in my favor. That sounds wrong. Let me explain. I won. My lawyer says it's a complete victory. Sole custody with supervised visitation only. My ex pays child support, covers all medical expenses, and has to pay for the supervised visitation sessions. He appealed. The appeal got denied last month. He's appealing again, but his lawyer told him the chances are basically zero. On paper, I won everything. In reality, I feel like I lost something worse than custody. The hearing itself was brutal. My ex showed up with his entire family. His parents, his brother, his mistress who is apparently officially his girlfriend now. She sat in the back of the courtroom with a visible baby bump like it was a statement. Like she was proving something by being there. My lawyer presented the evidence. The affair texts. The hospital incident report. The voicemails from his family. The screenshots of the Facebook harassment. The court transcripts from the supervised visitation company documenting that he showed up late to 3 of the 4 visits and left early from 2 of them. My ex's lawyer argued that I was using the child as a weapon. That the affair was a private matter unrelated to his parenting. That men deserve second chances and that punishing him was harmful to the child's development. The judge didn't buy it. She was a woman probably in her 60s. She asked me one question. Do you want your child to have a relationship with his father? I said yes. I meant it too. Despite everything, I want my son to know his dad. I just don't want his dad raising him or having unsupervised access to him. She asked my ex if he was willing to follow the supervised visitation protocol strictly, show up on time, and demonstrate consistent interest in his son's life over time. He said yes. She said that maybe in 2 years, if he demonstrates genuine commitment and completes parenting classes, they could revisit overnight visits. But for now, supervised visitation stands. Sole custody goes to me. Child support is $1,200 a month plus all expenses. The child's welfare is the priority, she said. And right now, the most stable and consistent parent is the mother. My ex's mother stood up and started saying something. The bailiff told her to sit down or leave. She left. His whole family walked out with her except his brother, who looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. The girlfriend stayed for another 5 minutes, glaring at me, then followed them out. I didn't celebrate. I just felt tired. The first supervised visit after the hearing was awkward. My ex seemed like he was performing fatherhood. Playing with the baby in this exaggerated way, narrating everything he was doing like he was on a parenting show. The supervisor took notes. My son mostly just stared at him with this confused expression like he was trying to figure out who this person was. After that visit, my ex changed tactics. Started showing up exactly on time. Brought age-appropriate toys. Asked the supervisor for tips on infant development. Actually engaged with my son instead of just playing for show. I hated how much better he got at it. By the sixth supervised visit, I could see my son recognizing him. Getting excited when he saw him. And I had to sit with that feeling. Pride that my son had a father who wanted to be there. Rage that it took a court order and legal consequences to make him show up. 6 weeks into the new arrangement, I got a letter from his mistress. Handwritten. Actually addressed to me by name, not just the mother or her. She apologized. Not a casual apology. A real one. She wrote about how losing the baby made her realize what she'd done. How she couldn't stop thinking about my son growing up in a fractured family because of her choices. How she knew I'd probably never forgive her, but she needed me to know she was sorry. She also wrote that she and my ex had broken up. I didn't believe that part. My lawyer did some digging and it turned out they actually had split. Apparently once the affair was exposed and they were no longer sneaking around, the romance wore off pretty fast. They'd lasted 3 months post-breakup pretending to be a couple, then he started dating someone else. Someone he works with. Another colleague. His family stopped calling me after the hearing. His mother sent a Christmas card to my son. Just that. No message. No note. Just a card. I didn't send one back. His father reached out to me once. Sent me a Facebook message in August saying he was sorry. That he hadn't known the full extent of what his son did. That he was ashamed of how his family had treated me. He asked if he could see his grandson occasionally. I said yes. He comes over every other Sunday now. Doesn't stay long. Maybe an hour. Brings books and toys. Holds my son and just looks at him like he's trying to memorize his face. He's never asked me personal questions or tried to defend my ex. Just quietly helps where he can and leaves. It's the least painful part of this whole nightmare. My ex has continued dating. I found out from a mutual acquaintance that he's serious with the newest girlfriend. That she wants to meet my son. That my ex is talking about maybe eventually petitioning the court to change custody arrangements. My lawyer says we're prepared. That his track record shows he's unreliable and that a judge won't suddenly change their mind because he got a new girlfriend. But I don't sleep well on Sundays knowing that on Monday morning he has supervised visitation and the thought of him building a life with someone new while I'm still paying off medical bills from the birth. My son is almost 11 months old now. He's starting to crawl. He has 2 bottom teeth. He laughs when my mom makes funny faces. He doesn't know any of this yet. Doesn't know that half of his DNA comes from someone who thought he was a mistake. A trap. An obstacle. Someday I'll have to tell him. Someday he'll ask where his dad is or why he doesn't live with us. I'll figure out age-appropriate ways to explain that his father made adult choices that hurt adult people but that he's still his son and some part of his father does care. I'm not ready for that conversation yet. What I am ready for is moving on. I applied to a new job. Better pay. Remote work so I can be with my son. I got it. I start next month. My mom is going back home after 3 months of being here because we need to rebuild some version of normal. Some version of just me and my son in the future we're going to build without waiting for his father to get his act together. My ex's mother reached out to me last week through a different number. Asked if she could see my son more regularly. Said she wanted to be a grandmother. That the affair wasn't my son's fault and he deserved to know his family. I told her she could have supervised visits just like my ex. That I understood wanting a relationship with her grandson but that I wasn't going to expose him to people who spent months harassing me. That maybe once he's older and can understand what happened, things could be different. But right now, supervised is the only option. She didn't respond. I think she's finally getting it. That there are consequences for how you treat people. That you can't blow up someone's life and then expect to waltz back in when it's convenient. That I'm not the villain in this story just because I refuse to be a victim. My son is napping right now. I can see him on the monitor from my desk. His mouth is open a little. His tiny fist is clenched around his blanket. He's safe and he's loved and he has one parent who showed up completely even when it was the hardest thing I've ever done. My ex gets supervised visits because a court ordered it. His girlfriend left him because the real version of him wasn't what she wanted. His family has to ask permission to see my son. His mother lost her say in his grandson's life because of how she chose to treat me. And I get to raise my son without the person who cheated on me, lied to me, and blamed me for his own choices. That's not winning. That's just what happens when you finally stop losing.